I found something so similar. Not identical in color, but for the price difference, I think we'll be okay. I really do. Hard Candy just released these liquid shadows, and this is that one. And then this is the Armani one. This one is a little bit more neutral while the Armani is more pink. But these are $40, maybe even more than that. And let me go check the price on these, but I know Hard Candy is not $40. Yeah, these are $3.98. $3.98 at Walmart. Plus, I'm gonna use it today, but I like the idea of something a little bit more neutral. I feel like that could shift between cool and warm undertones, while this one is just very, very pink. So I'm excited. I mean, $4 at Walmart. I can't beat that. And I will say they feel identical. The way that they feel on the skin, the way that they're not transferring or moving. It's good stuff. I'm very excited. Plus, there's a lot more shades. Let me swatch all the neutrals before we go. And by go, I mean get into the tutorial. This is the shade Cake. Look how pretty that is. So cool toned. And then there's a bunch of brights that I'm going to swatch the other brown, and this shade is called Rich. Look at how delightful they are. So good. I'm excited. These really excited me when I got them in the mail. All right, let's lay down the shade Halo. This is the one that I think is very similar to the Armani. So I'm gonna lay that kind of in the socket. It literally feels the exact same going on. Then let's grab, this one has powder on it. Where's Sheila? There's Sheila. It has powder on it because I always put a little powder on my brows first. Okay, tap that out. Perfect. I want to use some of this shade. I kind of want to use the other dark one too. This is the shade Cake. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to tap some in here. I'm going to switch to an E27. There's an E27. And then I'm just going to push that into the socket. I like how neutral the shades are. They're not too cool. They remind me of the Armani shades. Not identical, but they remind me of that more neutral shade as opposed to everything just leaning so warm. But I'm not getting gray either. By the way, since these are so affordable, you don't have to get two, but if you wanted Halo to be a little bit more pink, you could get Cake. Just a touch of that, and then we're gonna mix it together, and that's really gonna take it into that pinker territory like the Armani. We have fun here. Now I'm gonna take some of my bronzer. I mean, if you want to make the sound effects, you absolutely can. I do feel that they help. And I just have that on the side of my brush. And I was gonna use the bronzer as kind of my final transition. And then I'm gonna clean up my lid space. I want kind of my skin tone there. So I'm gonna clean up my lid space with micellar water and a C30. And what I meant by my skin tone peeking through, sometimes I think it's really fun to kind of see freckles. I have freckles on my eyelids and even veins. Who cares? It's fun. And then it's like a really nice tie-in because I didn't want to wear as much foundation today. So we'll see how it turns out. I might add sparkle later, but I wanted to film a video on it. How we did it yesterday, how we kind of place it in a different area. I really thought that brought a lot of life to the eye, and it's kind of unexpected. Some of you probably already do that. We're not trying to say anything here is new. I don't think there will ever be a new makeup trend. We understand that. That's not what I'm saying. But I just think it's really fun. Y'all like my pimple on my eyelid? We have fun with that. It's much better today. But I did want to film a video of putting that sparkle on one eye the way we normally do. We as in me. And then do the other one kind of what we did yesterday. So I thought that'd be a fun video. But I'm going to leave everything else my skin tone. Naked skin. By the way, I went and had this checked immediately. I don't play with anything around my eyes. It's just a clogged pore. Everything is fine. It's already so much better than yesterday. It's already gone down. So just don't want y'all to think I'm out here doing with my eyes things I shouldn't be doing, like putting makeup on them. We're all cleared and good to go. I love how if I get a pimple on my chin or something, I don't care. We get something on our eye, and that's something for you too. Please, if possible, go have it looked at. Okay, I was just informed it's cereal time. And I was told that today the kicks are on the table. So I'll be right back. Look what just came in the mail. I ate some almonds too. They were delicious. Okay, let me get comfortable. Hang on, sorry about that. Okay, new flavor of my favorite lip balm. So literally just talked about this yesterday. Let's try this one. I have a little bit of the strawberry on. Let me wipe it off. It's kind of wasteful, but I'm curious. I ate most of it off when I was just downstairs eating my kicks and almonds. Okay, this is creme brulee. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like, obviously, that sugary shell on top of creme brulee. I feel like it adds a little bit of a tint too. It does have a tint. You can kind of see it through there. I like this one. All right, let's do a little fun accent with this shade. I'm gonna do a little bit of a wing. I need an E26. So this is that dark shade, Rich. We're gonna use it as liner. And I like the idea of the all matte, so when I go to film the sparkle, it's really impactful. And then let me hold this further back. Even I sometimes want to hold things a little too high. But we talked about that. As we age, obviously our skin is going to get a little bit looser. That's okay. We just kind of rethink how we hold the brush. And we're looking for products that are just gonna glide over these folds without tugging too much. And a liner brush like this is going to be so important. Now I am going to smudge this a little bit, so I'm not worrying too much. And then I'm going to kind of tilt my head back and then connect that. But what I do want to do is add a little bit of an extension out this way. Grab that E27. So now we just grab our E27, and I was just tapping to blend it. But we still have that nice precise line underneath there. And I'm actually going to grab just a little bit more of this, and I want to add it and darken just the very bottom. Oh, Gene Bean wants in, he's crying. But I'm just going to darken just the very bottom here. Perfect. All right, I have that shade Rich on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take some on my inner corner here. If you have kind of sensation issues, any kind of sensation on your skin, what you could do is if it tickles here, we're going to just make contact there. Not only are we holding the eye up, but this is gonna help with it tickling. Because it's kind of like, I'm not a doctor here, but if I make any kind of pressure here, it's going to take that sensitivity away from this area. So if you find yourself a little more sensitive towards that inner corner, just take a brush and just apply pressure right next to it, wherever you feel comfortable, but very close to where you're working. And it's going to help so much with tickling. You know what? We haven't done a halo in a while, and I think it'll be cool when I add the sparkle later, just over here and not there. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of deepen up this inner corner here. And I'm trying to decide if I want to make it a little bit more graphic. Let me throw my eyeshadow on the floor. Kind of do. On Friday, tomorrow, you know, we just talked about the products, but on Friday, I wanted to do a really smoky shadowing for y'all. Been getting a lot of requests for that recently. So we're getting a little creative here. Okay, I picked up more, so on that E26. Yep, that's what I had in mind. Mine is the Gsine. I was saying I can feel a Gsine bean hair. I gotta find it. Let me look in my mirror. That kitty. He's right behind me. Let's not talk too loudly. He'll want held. So even at this point, if you still wanted to do a lid color, I wouldn't do it until after I cleaned up. So micellar water, and I'm just starting to really clean it up in here. And then look, you can even kind of thin this out and fade it even more. It just gives such a really pro look to the eye. So I can't recommend waiting for your lid color till after you shape in here. To do these really cool graphic looks, I feel like even where I'm at, and I have a pretty steady hand, this is still a step I would not skip. All right, so we're getting somewhere. So I added just a tiny amount underneath here, because anytime you can add depth underneath your kind of smudgy smoke, it just adds this beautiful definition. But I'm only adding the liner underneath here. It's not over here. It's only a very thin line that way. So I definitely want to put lashes on. We'll get to that in a second. I always put mascara on. But before I get to that, I want to talk about the new Too Faced foundation. And let's see, they sent me 3 shades and I thought we would try them on, just swatch them real quickly. Because I know that Too Faced usually runs so yellow on me. So we're about to find out. So Too Faced has a new formula. They did send this over. This is the Oil Control Foundation, but it does have hyaluronic acid in it. So that's nice. So sometimes this is fun to talk about. Oily skin. I used to think a long time ago when I was younger, my oil production was more than. So what I used to do is I would try to fight it in every way possible. Oil absorbing, get it off the face. But what would happen is that would just leave my skin unbalanced. And unbalanced skin is unhappy skin. So it's just going to produce more oil most of the time. There are exceptions, but this is something we can say. So I like the idea that this does have hyaluronic acid in it for balance. But that being said, I don't think we're gonna have a shade. Okay, that's light beige or natural beige. Okay, then they sent golden beige. This one, yes. I would never do golden beige, obviously. That's not my shade. But this is something I expect from Too Faced, unfortunately. And then last but not least is light beige. So maybe this one. This one looks a little too light. Still too warm. Well, and you know, I already know that I'm so positive that there won't be a shade because it's one of the reasons I don't gravitate towards the Too Faced complexion. That being said, remember the peach foundation? Loved that foundation and I had a shade. For some reason, there were cooler tones in that peach collection. This right here is something that I'm very passionate about because I feel that these shade ranges really hindered me when I was trying to learn about makeup because I used to think, well, this is what I have to be because that's all there was. I remember watching YouTube tutorials and everyone was able to use the Too Faced shades, but they would go on really yellow, but then it would look fixed somehow. So we're not going to get into that. But that being said, this was very confusing to me, and to even have things named cool when they still look like this. So I feel that this kind of makes makeup not fun, and I don't like that. And really quickly, I was going to talk about this on Thursday, but I will say I don't enjoy this formula. I like the other formula more. And then I saw that I'm not sure if it's being phased out, but it was being taken out of Target my Target at least. And then I'm seeing this pop up more, but I feel that this is just not a formula that my skin likes. Even though I'm balanced to dry, this just feels very heavy on my skin. And I feel that it kind of enhances things that I don't want enhanced. So I don't love this formula as much as I love the other formula. Now, anytime you see these lashes, I do have a partnership with them now, so it's going to say add. All right. get this out. I want to use these. These are less, they're a hair less fluffy and they're a little bit smaller than Go Getter. Let me compare Go Getter. So Go Getter are the ones that I've been using mostly all week. And then these are a little bit more piecey. So let me just put them next to it here. So that's Go Getter. And then these are, just want to make sure, Trendsetter. So the two in here are Trendsetter. So I'm after that. Just a nice little soft floof. I'm gonna save yesterday's highlight. I'm literally gonna do that after this slide, but I showed you how I maintain them and take care of them, because you can't soak them like you can other lashes, but I don't mind that because they're not messy. Oof. These have honestly made it to where I can do multiple looks a day and there's no residue in my lashes, and they're just so easy to change in and out. If I want to do a different style to switch up, you didn't see that, but if I want to do a different style to switch up the look, I love them so much. I will say one little tip with these is to keep them extra clean, I do wait for my mascara to dry down. So when I'm applying them, the mascara isn't transferring onto them and it just keeps them really nice and clean. But you know what? I would do that now with any lash. I just find myself always in a hurry. So I'm just like, I don't care if it's dry, but I really like the fluff. So I'm really trying to keep them really nice. I'm just going to do my Natasha Denona concealer today, shade R5. And I'm just going to use kind of as my foundation. But I'm not going for a lot of coverage. So that should be good. Let me just kind of make sure it's even though. There we go, perfect. And then since I'm not going for as much coverage, now underneath my eye, I always want the most coverage there, but I also want it really nice and thinned out. So that's why we're gonna use this brush. But for the rest of my face, oh, look at that under eye. Let's do this side. And this brush is coming back very soon. Just make sure you're signed up for emails if you're interested. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, and then since I was mentioning I didn't want as much coverage, we're going to do a C41. Just kind of still pressing. Pressing really evens everything out across the skin, and that equals long wearing makeup. It also equals not creasing. Pressing is just always a good motion. Something to really get used to doing. All right, y'all already know I want bronzer, but let's try a different bronzer today. Actually, I want to film with, I'm going to hop off and film really quickly because I've been meaning to do this. If you have fair skin, I know it can be even a little confusing to know exactly what blush to use. So I'm going to film this video, but my story family, y'all get to know about it first. I've shown this before, but there is an actual bronzer from Jones Road that is perfect for fair skin and has red. It is just a very red. Doesn't it almost look like a bronze? I mean, it almost look like a blush. It's still considered a bronzer. It is such a good color, especially right now I'm a little bit more tan, but it's still gonna work for me. But it is the epitome of that video I did where I was talking about using blush as bronzer, but that can get confusing. So it's really nice to have something labeled the bronzer. Love this. All right, finish that video. Doesn't this look so good? I'm gonna get you a link. I think this might be worth, because you can even fix what you already have with it. So I love adding a product to my collection that isn't just, you know, just the one product and done. Say you have some bronzers laying in a drawer and they're just sitting there. If you get this, and I even show in the video how to kind of adjust, you just use your hydrating mist, go back over it, you'll see in the video. But you can save other orange bronzers with this. So I really think that this is something that we could possibly add to our collection. I haven't even set my concealer. I guess I'll set it. I'm gonna use my peach powder again. I gotta scoop some out. I could take the thing off, but which I've shown in other videos. I also need to show you how to darken concealer with that. I should have filmed that. I'll just wipe it off and film it. Pretend that you didn't hear me say that. I can just wipe this off in a second and redo it. Actually, I'll do that tomorrow. I filmed enough today. I was going to film one more, the eyeshadow one. I was still going to film that, so that's enough. I'll get out of control. All right, so I'm using my Ultra Peach. But my concealer, I will teach you really quickly. My concealer had a lot of time to dry down, so it wasn't super wet. So if you apply this on super wet concealer, that's how you could use it to really darken. And then you're thinking, Rose, it's a brightener. It is a brightener. But when, just like think eyeshadow primer, you know how we apply eyeshadow on top of wet base? And it's going to show up really, really pigmented. So the same goes for your concealer. Also, if you have my skin tone right now, I'm my most tan. So this is going to be definitely a more brightening on me right now. But if you have a skin tone any lighter and you apply this on very wet concealer, you're going to get a little bit of the more pigmented version of it. And peach can darken, and that's good because sometimes we have concealers that are way too light for us, and I'm going to be able to demonstrate that perfectly with the skin tone I am right now. So it's just one of my really fun color correcting videos. So some days I want a blush that, I feel like we're going back and forth. I want a blush today that looks more like a bronzer, and then I want a bronzer that looks more like a blush. Copper tone, MAC Copper Tone, y'all, a classic. I had it right here on, oh, it's so good. But you can see it is a lot more pink than the bronzer. But this blush has been one of my favorites from so many years. I feel like there's always something new and fun to try, but then I'll go back and I'll try these things that kind of stole my makeup heart to begin with. And I'm like, yeah, this is like my love for makeup right here. And then I'm gonna take my baby, my little baby, for picking up that blush there. And see how we have that wash of color? And then I'm gonna apply that blush just a little bit more saturated right here while Jean absolutely snores. And what that does is it just kind of lifts the cheek. But I love blush, eyeshadow, really anything in a transition. I just feel like it looks more natural instead of everything just being the same color throughout. So I'll lay down that wash of color and then I kind of just add that little bit more of saturation, and that is where you kind of get the focal point. And then I'm gonna take this. I never get tired of this. It's just so cool. I'm gonna do one side. And I know most of you aren't used to me using a setting spray, but the science caught up with what I wanted them to do. Okay, just let it dry down for just a second. Give it like 12 to 15 seconds. I want setting sprays, okay, we're good to go, but I want setting sprays to blur and melt, but not mess with my wear time. Look at how blurred that is now. And then I just take my foundation brush and just tap it. And this side of my face just starts to absolutely look like a filter, but it does not mess with my wear time and doesn't make things funky. And it's such a light mist. It's so good. And then I'll just use my finishing powder just very lightly. I love makeup science. So this is a really unique formula we're about to look at. These are from RMS. I want to do kind of the brownier shade. Let's do this one. These are new shades from them. This is their, the names, hang on, let me get you the nude. This is their Legendary Serum Lipstick. This is the nudes. Look at this texture though. So we're gonna twist it up right here. And anytime you have anything that clicks, you don't wanna click too much because normally it doesn't click back down. But look at the texture. Isn't that pretty? So I'm not sure I can tell you the name yet, but they did kind of announce that they have new shades coming, but I don't want to give too much away. But look at how pretty this color is. It's such a nice kind of toffee nude. And this formula feels, how do I explain it? It feels like I'm applying cooling water, but there's no sting. There's no plumping effect. I'm not into that, but it just has a really unique texture. Oh, that's a pretty color. And then I'm gonna do my current fave lip liner. I went and bought another one in this shade, by the way. Ooh, yeah, that's perfect. I like how it matches. That's nice. I love this lip liner. Alrighty. I think we're good. I like this lip color a lot. It's like a peachy beige. Okay, we're all going wild in my DMs about the bronzer. Don't sell it out because I want to post my video. It's a good video. Okay, if y'all sell it out, I want y'all to have it first. That's why I like to talk about it first, but doesn't it look so good? It's so good. It's like actual sun-kissed because our skin generally, not everyone, but generally if we go out in the sun, we turn a little red. Let's finish up the eye. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this shade. Which one was this one? This one's called Cake. We're gonna put that one underneath here. Ooh, isn't that nice? Just that little bit of definition there. There's my E27, there it is. I love liquid shadows for finishing up the eye because there's no fallout. Nice. Ooh, Ben's in one of the meetings in there. Now I'm gonna hop off and finish filming. I think that's gonna be it here today. I hope y'all like this eye look. I love this eye look, even without any sparkle. And then just seeing my little freckle here, this won't be here much longer. Let's not even act like that's there. This is what happens when you do 3 looks a day. Eyelids are not meant to go through that, but here I am. I love it so much. I have a hard time leaving my makeup room. There's just so much sparkle here. Okay, I love you with all of my heart. I'm not gonna post tonight. I'm actually gonna take Mama out to dinner. She wanted to go to a restaurant, so we're gonna take her out. So it's gonna be really fun. I'm actually looking forward to it. I love having dinner with Mama. Obviously Mama lives with us, but it's really nice to just take time and take her out to eat somewhere that she wants to go. So that'll be fun. All right, I love you so much. And I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we talk about things that we enjoyed, things that didn't work out. We just talk about makeup. I love Thursdays. All right, love you. See you tomorrow.